Have you ever walked into a class, math, science, or something else entirely and felt overwhelmed by a board of symbols that are completely alien to you? Today, we're going to decipher and decode some of those weird symbols. Hello, welcome back to the Quant Plus YouTube channel. In this video, we will formalize some of the ideas we brought up last video and introduce you to some important notation you will likely encounter. In the last video, we used the example of TV ratings based on the proportion of American households tuned into a particular program. Now, we will introduce some important definitions and concepts. First, a population in statistics is much the same as a population in everyday language. It is everyone or everything that is of interest to us. In our particular example, right, that is all Americans. A characteristic of the population that we want to study, in this case the proportion of Americans watching a particular TV show, is called a parameter. Proportion of Americans watching a show. In the last video, we said we may be able to accurately measure the behavior of 50,000 people. That is our sample. And more generally, a sample can be thought of as a smaller group within the population that we can feasibly measure and analyze. Right? So as an example, that may be our survey respondents. And the characteristic of interest that we observe within our sample is called a statistic, right? So as an example, the proportion watching a show. Proportion, let me emphasize, of our sample watching a show. I plan to come back to this concept more thoroughly in the future, but for now, here are a few key things to remember. In most scenarios, a symbol with a hat on it, like this one here, is a statistic. The same symbol without a hat on it is the true population measure or parameter, like we see here. The statistic we observe or calculate from our sample is generally our best guess for the corresponding population parameter. So our statistic is about the same as our parameter. And therefore, P is about the same as P hat, and X bar is about the same as mu. And lastly, in addition to P and P hat, as we have written them out, you will often see X bar and mu. The symbol here on the left is X bar, and the symbol here on the right is mu. With X bar being a statistic and mu being a parameter, these are two measures of our mean or average within this group. If you found this video insightful and want more content like this, please support the channel by liking and subscribing. Additionally, you can schedule your first tutoring session today. Follow the link in the description.